When you have a segment of the people who have a dispute over something and each person has a stake in a certain thing, a way to settle the matter is to put it to a vote. This is the democratic method. The matter is decided by the people, and the majority vote will have its way. This is different from having one person decide everything for everybody. It gives the people the power over their own governance. Many of us, as Black people, make it a point to participate in this political system, as they believe this is the most effective way to bring about the changes we desire. We also believe this is what our forefathers sacrificed for in getting us the right to participate in the political process. Other people say they are not into politics at all. Rejecting politics is a bad thing, as it means you do not care about your own community. Politics deals with the welfare of your community or your group. It would be ignorant to disregard your own people's political benefit. Where many of our people go wrong in advocating for voting and political participation is we are participating in a system which does not include us. It is an insult to our forefathers to say they sacrificed and even died for our right to cast a vote which has no political value for our community. This is gross disrespect to the hard work our forefathers put in. They died for us to have a seat at the table, for legitimate political representation, and tangible returns for our vote. Voting is only valid when we have a stake in what we are voting for. Black people are instead used as political footballs to advance someone else's political agenda. Our people champion DEI as something positive for our people, when in reality, it benefits the feminist and homosexual agenda. Black Lives Matter was disguised as something to forward the black agenda during the time of Freddie Gray and Mike Brown. In reality, it was a political wedge to inject the homosexual agenda into our community. While protesting against police brutality, displacing the traditional man and woman nuclear family was part of their mission statement. BLM was never for our benefit. Desiring to detach the black woman from the black man and establish gay and lesbian family units is objectively destructive to our community. We have long moved away from this political movement and see them as illegitimate, but we're still politically confused. Our people are making political decisions without understanding why they're making them. Our people are voting and not voting for the wrong reasons. We should not be voting in anything we don't have a tangible stake in. If we don't stand to get anything for the vote we cast, then we don't need to be voting. Other people groups get tangible benefits without voting at all. They've already decided amongst themselves what political course of action they will take. They then use their collective resources to get what they want. They aren't asking for anything. They are making demands and then taking what they want. Voting isn't about making your voice heard. It's about getting something. Voting just decides which side is going to get something, but a tangible thing is at the end of the vote. We go to the ballot box and cast a meaningless vote which gets us nothing. This is erroneous, and anyone who encourages you to do this is spreading a destructive lie. You're being used. Stop being a political tool for everyone else. Voting isn't about asking for things, it's about getting things. The vote is where your group decides what they will receive. It's not a request. We go to the ballot box to choose between choices someone else gave us. That's not how it works. If your demands aren't being considered, then you have no stake in the process, and you shouldn't participate. On the other side, there are those who choose to be politically abstinent. To ignore politics altogether is irresponsible, as you're choosing not to represent your own cause. What needs to be done instead is we need to represent ourselves and not someone else, hoping they give us something. The problem isn't political participation. The problem is we participate in everyone else's politics and not our own. We believe if we advance someone else's political agenda, they'll give us something in return. This never happens. We just end up being tools for someone else's benefit. The answer isn't to abandon politics. The answer is to actually have our own political agenda and fight for it. Voting becomes valuable when tangibles are attached to it. Not promised tangibles, but actual things happening due to our vote. This is what happens when you participate in the political system you actually have a stake in. We shouldn't participate in the American political system because it wasn't made for us. All men are created equal wasn't talking about us. The Constitution wasn't formed with us in mind. You were a chattel slave and considered less than human when these sayings and these documents originated. We have to stop latching on to something we never had a part in. One of the reasons we're not respected is we willingly participate in things which are obviously disadvantageous to us, or at the very least, will have no benefit. We get punked every 4 years when we show up to the polls. Some Hebrew Israelites tell us we shouldn't vote because it's a sin, in citing Deuteronomy 17:15. This isn't talking about voting, but rather it is saying we are not to elect a non-Israelite to have rulership over us. While we're in this captivity, we don't have much choice in the matter on who rules over us. Even if you vote on the president or mayor or other political seat, you're choosing from choices someone else gave you. Barack Obama did not come from us. He was given to us by our enemies. He was a Trojan horse. Most of the police shootings of our people were under his watch. Do we ever take a candidate who comes from our people or from amongst our group? Some will say this is the fool's errand, that someone coming directly from us will never make it to office. If that's the case, then we simply don't participate. The act of voting is lame if you have no skin in the game. Other people groups put up big money to have this or that politician represent them. There are ways to make the system work for you. Should we even bother? Is this something we should even pursue? Well, there's nothing wrong with trying. There's also nothing wrong with understanding this political system is against you and to remove yourself from it. You don't need to participate in this political system to represent your own politics. Politics is the process of convincing other people to cooperate with you to accomplish a goal. This involves having communication skills to win people to your side. Greatness can only be achieved through collaboration. One working by themselves will not have the resource to reach their goal or the protection against opposing forces. Our enemies would desire for us to be separated and fragmented, as this takes away the chances of us ever developing a body politic. If we start collaborating, we start building power. If we're isolated, we're powerless. Our enemies don't want us to get together with each other to do anything. The times where we did, like in the time of the Black Wall Streets, meant trouble for our enemies. No one is going to make your vote count but you, and will not count if you don't put value to it. There is no trophy for participation, but there is reward for representation. If your enemies want you to participate in their political system, there needs to be something in it for you. If not, then you don't need to be there. Don't insult the efforts of your forefathers by being a sucker every 4 years. Malcolm and Dr. King didn't lead the liberation of our people up for a vote. The original Black Panthers, who defended our communities, didn't wait for someone to vote it into law. Voting isn't a civil responsibility. It is a tool people use for their own political ends. It is useless if you have no legitimate stake in what's being voted on. We don't pick our political leaders, and we don't decide on government policy. This being the case, we don't just need to abandon this political system, we need to form our own. Many people who realize the scam this political system is make the mistake of doing the former while never doing the latter. We don't need anyone's permission or sanction to protect ourselves, govern ourselves, make our own laws, or have our own code of conduct. We don't need to overthrow the government, and we're not going to change it from within. Those seeking to bring about wholesale change to how the government operates will either never become part of it or be eliminated from it. The Italians during the height of the mafia had their own governance and way of life. The Jewish people today have the same. They work with each other and are on code with each other. They vote, but it's amongst themselves. In fact, we did this ourselves with the Black Wall Streets, but our enemies destroyed those cities. We have other people groups' examples, as well as our own examples of this being done. If you read your Bible, which is your family history as a Black person in this country, we've had powerful kings and kingdoms throughout our ancestry. We've done this before, and we can do it again. We don't have to pick from the options someone else gave us. We don't have to vote in order to avoid the worst case scenario while not getting remotely close to what we want. Stop waiting around for assistance from a system that despises you. The only person you should ever vote for is yourself. After that, get together with your people and get done what you need to get done.